Welcome back to Fast Market, everyone. Kevin Hinks back here now for our cash tag segment. I want to bring in the co-founder of LikeFolio.com, Mr. Andy Swan, to the show. Sorry, got that wrong in the lead-in. He's going to talk about our featured name today, and that is Tesla. Andy, Dan Ives put a number out there, $500. He's talking about the golden age of autonomous vehicles. Now, from a calendar perspective, you know, every month we eat closer to some type of rollout, right? What else? Is there anything else you're seeing? You bring the data. That's what you bring to this show, and it's awesome data. What are you guys seeing from your data on Tesla as we creep ever closer to that launch in about a month in Austin?
Yeah, the launch in Austin's going to be fireworks for sure either way, because either they roll this out and things work well, or they roll it out and things don't work well, or they delay it. And so those are kind of the three options, I think, going into this. I do have some confidence that Tesla will be able to roll this out without major issues. I think they're doing it in a really safe and careful way, which a lot of times isn't seen as Elon Musk's style, but I think he knows and the company knows that there are a lot of eyeballs on this rollout of the Robotaxis, and so they pretty much have to nail it. So that's a risk factor going into June. But in terms of the overall business that Tesla's in, and that's selling cars and then monetizing those cars through services over time, Tesla's kind of got two different cross currents going. First of all, I think Elon Musk definitely did at least short-term damage to the Tesla brand because of his heavy involvement and very outspoken involvement in controversial political issues. There's no doubt about that. And we see it reflected a little bit in the data in terms of web visits. Web visits are down year over year about 13-14%. That's a combination of, a little bit less interest in buying Tesla vehicles because, again, of that outspoken CEO behavior. But also it's a cyclical thing. It's something we've seen several times in the last, 7 years at LikeFolio. It's just when you think Tesla's, kind of peaked in terms of popularity, they bring it right back with a new model refresh, a rollout, and pricing or financing that makes people just say, I have to have this car. And so that's what's happened historically. We think that's going to happen again. We think that we're at a trough in the consumer interest cycle. And so when we look at Tesla long term, we have to agree with Ives. I think that the stock is a little bit undervalued here. I think it's probably one of the best assets you can own for the next 5 to 10 years, because as controversial as he is, Elon Musk is the best entrepreneur perhaps in history, at least one of the top 5 that is currently alive, and is doing a fantastic job and has a lot of runway to build out a lot of potential high revenue producing functions of this company, whether it's Robotaxi, whether it's Optimus, robotics, et cetera. There's a lot of ways for Tesla to leverage what it's built and the capital that it has into some very lucrative business units in the future.
Andy, I want your thoughts on this. Elon Musk basically did a media blitz this week, a really impromptu, but he did an interview on CNBC. He was, at a conference where he was telecommunicated into a conference, and he got into minutia, and he was much more savvy than he's been in the past, and understanding the right buttons to push, like talking about the numbers being down in Europe. He goes, well, in January is when you want to retool a factory, and the numbers showed because we were retooling a factory, and the numbers have jumped back up since we did that. I thought he hit every box on the worries that people had about Tesla and why things were happening, because the headlines were all, Tesla sales dropping for the month of January. And he was like, no, wait a minute. That's not accurate, because we were retooling factories for the new models. I thought he was very specific, got into minutia about it. I thought it was one of his best interviews I've ever seen. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, and I think that's the Elon Musk that Tesla shareholders want to see. I think that he had that kind of same energy, enthusiasm, and research on the Doge side of things, on the political side of things for the last 6 to 9 months, and quite frankly, was distracted from what was going on at Tesla. I think in his mind, it probably all lined up really well. We're doing a refresh of the Model Y. We're retooling. Tesla doesn't need me for the next 6 to 9 months. The country does. So that's what I'm going to focus on. And now he's shifting back into Tesla mode, which I think is fantastic for Tesla shareholders. And I agree with you. I think the way that he's gone about this kind of media redemption tour has been fantastic, because it's about the details and it's about understanding where his company is going and pushing that vision out to the world, to consumers and to shareholders in a positive way. Something I think Tesla definitely needed.
Yeah, and the way he went into specifics about robotics and specifics about the robotaxi and self-driving, and he gave people ideas and thoughts about everyone having their own little R2D2 at their home. And he talked about people going to sleep at night and their car out working while they sleep. I think it was a light bulb for some people thinking, wait a minute, this guy is doing things that are going to change the way I live each day, the car I drive, what I do with that car when I'm sleeping. I just thought he got into so much detail. It was the best real life TV that I've watched in a year, and I thought he really explained himself well. But now, here's the thing. If Andy Swan, who you've been very clear, very honest. You are a Tesla enthusiast. That's why I like to have you on the show to talk about Tesla. What's the most important thing going forward, Andy? What are you watching for that is important to Tesla's success going forward? Is it energy? I mean, there's great headlines coming out about energy and storage and what they're doing there. Is it the Robotaxi? What is it that you're looking at?
I think Tesla's in all the right sectors. Everything that they're doing has a massive tailwind. And this is a executive team. This is a company and a person that has showed just excellent execution in terms of taking advantage of big tailwinds. I can remember 5 or 6 years ago, when we first started to get very bullish on Tesla, every other post on Twitter about Tesla was a Tesla Q post, which is short sellers talking about why this company is going to fail because they had $5 billion of debt at the time. And how could they ever capture more than X% of the EV market? Well, now, fast forward 5 or 6 years later, the Model Y became the best selling car in the world, not EV, but best selling car in the world. This is how Elon Musk historically, and the reason why he gets a pass when he talks about all these grandiose ideas and going to Mars and having a robot in your home that cleans things up while you sleep, and your car goes out and makes money for you while you sleep. The reason he gets by with these grandiose ideas is because he's executed grandiose ideas in the past. He doesn't always hit his timeline. His timelines are ambitious. I think they're there to push his team and to push shareholders to think big and beyond the next quarter. But he's done it, and he's done it over and over again. Sometimes it takes longer than other times, but it seems like we always get there. And this is just, there's a lot of companies that are worth betting against. There's a lot of bad publicly traded companies that consumers don't like their product, and they're spinning their wheels and in a cycle of death. Tesla is not one of those. So, I would just say to, the short sellers out there, I think like it's happened for the past 5 or 6 years, you're going to get what you asked for. And that is a bet against the best entrepreneur the world has seen in quite some time, and a company with multiple tailwinds in multiple sectors and a history of phenomenal execution. So I'm very bullish on Tesla going forward. I think it's going to be extremely volatile for the rest of this year for sure. And so anytime we get those dips, especially on media sentiment, that's going to be an opportunity to pick up shares.
Yeah, the man does not have a thought that is not aspirational. Every
Right.
single thought
Right.
out of his head is aspirational. And by the way, a note to Tesla shareholders, pay the man. Make sure you do that too. Andy Swan, thanks for coming on as always. Always a great discussion to talk to you in general, but especially about Tesla. Have a great day, Andy.